Inspecting dishwasher electrical connections by removing the bottom panel is a standard practice. Frequently encountered issues include missing junction boxes and flying splices. Such deficiencies must be reported. A junction box, or J-box, provides a safe and code-compliant enclosure for electrical connections. When a dishwasher is installed without a properly installed junction box, several potential hazards arise. Firstly, exposed electrical connections can create a significant risk of electric shock. If any part of the uncontained wiring comes into contact with the metal frame of the dishwasher or any nearby grounded surface, it could energize these surfaces, posing a danger to anyone who touches them. Secondly, the absence of a junction box increases the risk of electrical fires. Without the protection of an enclosure, loose or poorly made wire connections are more susceptible to arcing and sparking, which can ignite nearby combustible materials. This is particularly concerning in the confined space under a dishwasher, where flammable substances like food debris or cleaning agents might be present. Thirdly, the installation violates electrical codes and regulations. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, mandates the use of approved junction boxes for all electrical splices and connections to ensure safety and prevent hazards. Failing to comply with these codes can result in fines, rejection of the installation, and potential liability in the event of an electrical incident. When encountering missing junction boxes, the proper corrective action is to install an approved junction box. This involves several steps. Firstly, ensure that the power to the dishwasher circuit is turned off at the circuit breaker to prevent electrical shock. Secondly, carefully inspect the existing wiring to assess its condition and identify any damaged or frayed wires that need to be replaced. Thirdly, select a junction box that is appropriately sized for the number and gauge of wires that need to be connected. The junction box must be made of a non-combustible material such as metal or durable plastic, and must be listed by a recognized testing laboratory such as Underwriters Laboratories or all. Fourthly, securely mount the junction box to a stable surface near the dishwasher's electrical connection point, ensuring that it is easily accessible for future inspection and maintenance. Fifthly, make all wire connections inside the junction box using approved connectors such as wire nuts or terminal blocks. Ensure that all connections are tight and secure to prevent loose connections, which can cause arcing and overheating. Sixthly, properly ground the dishwasher by connecting the grounding wire to the grounding terminal inside the junction box. This is essential for providing a safe path for fault current in the event of an electrical malfunction. Finally, carefully close the junction box cover and secure it with screws or other appropriate fasteners. Double-check all connections to ensure that they are properly made and that there are no exposed wires. In addition to missing junction boxes, flying splices are another common electrical deficiency encountered during dishwasher inspections. A flying splice refers to an electrical connection that is made outside of an approved enclosure, leaving the wires exposed and unprotected. These splices are often made using only electrical tape, which can deteriorate over time and expose the bare wires. Flying splices present several significant hazards. Firstly, they pose a direct electric shock hazard. The exposed wires can easily be touched, resulting in a potentially lethal electric shock. This is particularly dangerous in damp or wet environments, such as under a dishwasher, where the risk of shock is increased. Secondly, flying splices are a fire hazard. The exposed connections are susceptible to arcing and sparking, which can ignite nearby combustible materials. This is especially concerning if the splice is located near flammable substances. Thirdly, flying splices are a violation of electrical codes. The NEC requires that all electrical splices be made inside approved junction boxes to provide protection from physical damage and prevent electrical hazards. When encountering flying splices, the proper corrective action is to replace them with code-compliant connections inside a junction box. This involves the following steps. Firstly, disconnect the power to the dishwasher circuit at the circuit breaker. Secondly, carefully remove the electrical tape from the flying splices to expose the wire connections. Thirdly, inspect the wires for any damage, such as cuts, nicks, or corrosion. Replace any damaged wires to ensure a safe and reliable connection. Fourthly, install an appropriately sized junction box near the location of the original flying splices. Fifthly, route the wires into the junction box and make the connections using approved connectors, such as wire nuts or terminal blocks. Ensure that all connections are tight and secure. Sixthly, properly ground the dishwasher by connecting the grounding wire to the grounding terminal inside the junction box. Finally, close the junction box cover and secure it with screws or other appropriate fasteners. In addition to addressing missing junction boxes and flying splices, it is also important to inspect the overall condition of the dishwasher's electrical wiring. Look for any signs of damage, such as frayed insulation, cracked wires, or loose connections. Replace any damaged wiring to prevent electrical hazards. It is also essential to ensure that the dishwasher is properly grounded. The grounding wire should be securely connected to the grounding terminal inside the junction box and to a grounded metal part of the dishwasher. This provides a safe path for fault current in the event of an electrical malfunction. Furthermore, verify that the dishwasher is connected to a dedicated circuit breaker of the appropriate size. Overloading a circuit can cause the breaker to trip frequently, which can be a nuisance and potentially damage the dishwasher. The circuit breaker should be sized according to the dishwasher manufacturer's specifications. Finally, it is crucial to follow all applicable electrical codes and regulations when installing or repairing a dishwasher. The NEC provides detailed requirements for electrical installations, including the proper wiring methods, grounding techniques, and overcurrent protection. Failing to comply with these codes can result in fines, rejection of the installation, and potential liability in the event of an electrical incident. When performing electrical work, it is always recommended to consult with a qualified electrician if you are not familiar with electrical codes and safety practices. A qualified electrician has the knowledge and experience to safely and correctly install or repair electrical wiring and equipment. By following these guidelines and taking the necessary precautions, you can ensure that your dishwasher is installed safely and in compliance with electrical codes. Regular inspections and maintenance can help to identify and correct any potential electrical hazards, protecting your home and family from the risk of electric shock and fire. Remember, electrical safety is paramount, and it is always best to err on the side of caution when dealing with electrical wiring and equipment. When inspecting dishwasher electrical connections, it's important to use the right tools and equipment. Firstly, a non-contact voltage tester is essential for verifying that the power is off before working on any electrical wiring. This tool can detect the presence of voltage without making direct contact with the wires, reducing the risk of electric shock. Secondly, a multimeter is useful for measuring voltage, current, and resistance in electrical circuits. This can help to identify any electrical problems, such as voltage drops or short circuits. Thirdly, wire strippers are necessary for removing the insulation from electrical wires without damaging the conductors. Use the correct size wire stripper for the gauge of wire being used to ensure a clean and proper strip. Fourthly, wire connectors, such as wire nuts or terminal blocks, are used to make secure and reliable electrical connections. Choose connectors that are appropriately sized for the number and gauge of wires being connected. Fifthly, electrical tape is used to insulate and protect electrical connections. Use high-quality electrical tape that is rated for the voltage and temperature of the application. Sixthly, a flashlight or headlamp is helpful for providing adequate lighting when working in dark or confined spaces, such as under a dishwasher. Seventhly, safety glasses are essential for protecting your eyes from debris and other hazards when working on electrical wiring. Eighthly, insulated gloves provide an additional layer of protection against electric shock. Use gloves that are rated for the voltage of the electrical system being worked on. Ninthly, a circuit breaker finder can be used to quickly and easily locate the correct circuit breaker that controls the dishwasher circuit. This eliminates the need to manually test each breaker. Finally, a digital camera can be used to document any electrical deficiencies or code violations that are found during the inspection. This documentation can be helpful for reporting the issues to the homeowner or property manager. In addition to using the right tools and equipment, it is also important to follow proper safety procedures when inspecting dishwasher electrical connections. Firstly, always turn off the power to the dishwasher circuit at the circuit breaker before working on any electrical wiring. Secondly, verify that the power is off using a non-contact voltage tester. Thirdly, wear safety glasses and insulated gloves to protect yourself from electrical shock and other hazards. Fourthly, never work on electrical wiring in wet or damp conditions. Fifthly, inspect the wiring for any signs of damage, such as frayed insulation, cracked wires, or loose connections. Replace any damaged wiring before proceeding. Sixthly, make sure that all electrical connections are tight and secure. Loose connections can cause arcing and overheating, which can lead to electrical fires. Seventhly, properly ground the dishwasher by connecting the grounding wire to the grounding terminal inside the junction box. Eighthly, follow all applicable electrical codes and regulations when installing or repairing a dishwasher. Ninthly, if you are not familiar with electrical codes and safety practices, consult with a qualified electrician. Finally, after completing the inspection or repair, double-check all connections to ensure that they are properly made and that there are no exposed wires. Then turn the power back on at the circuit breaker and test the dishwasher to make sure that it is working properly. By following these safety procedures and using the right tools and equipment, you can safely and effectively inspect dishwasher electrical connections and ensure that they are in compliance with electrical codes. Remember, electrical safety is paramount, and it is always best to err on the side of caution when dealing with electrical wiring and equipment.